Pastor Kev Sheehan from Coast Community Church. Welcome, Kev.
Hey Rick, hey Tanya, how are you?
Good, really doing well. I'm glad to have you along today. Hey, getting a pastor in here on a Sunday is a bit of a good trick. I mean, most of you guys are busy today.
Well, it's the only day we work though. We just work on Sundays, so
that's what they say.
Happy to make that fit in.
Not quite. From my experience, that's not quite how it works.
No.
So, Coast Community Church, it's a church in 2 campuses.
Yeah.
So Bennsville and Tumby.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what's life like at Coast Community, what's your heartbeat of the church, and what are you all about?
I'm pretty biased. I've been there a while.
You probably think it's the best church on the coast.
Yeah, but I also am a firm believer that there's many great churches on the Central Coast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, never want to take that for granted. We are blessed here on the Central Coast. There's so many great churches, seriously.
There are.
And, you know, my constant encouragement to people is, whether it's someone from our church or not, just find a church that you go, actually, this could be a spiritual home for me. Just get planted there, put your roots down, call it home, and then serve from that place, from that church. We've got so many great churches and we're in it together. That's what I love about the Central Coast.
Yeah, and I mean, something that, you know, we were just chatting off air about, we're really conscious there's a lot of people out there at the moment, Christians, who are not plugged into a church. Sometimes it's because they got hurt in a church, or sometimes they've just moved up the coast, haven't found one yet. They just, you know, they're between churches or they're not quite there yet. But there's so much variety on the coast.
Yeah, there is.
If you can't find a church up here that you fit well with, you're not looking hard enough.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and you know what? You don't have to be in a church to be a Christian, you know. But
it does make it easier.
It does, but, you know, it's like, you know, salvation is quite simple, actually. You know, when I believe that Jesus is who he says he is and he's done what he said he's done, you know, that's the entry point to a relationship with Jesus. And to live that out, I'm a firm believer we're not meant to do that alone. You know, to be in a community, in a family where we can help each other grow. You know, when I'm in church, I so appreciate the other people in our church because they know me enough to know when to encourage me, when to support me, when to pray for me. Man, I can't do that by myself. Yeah, I just love being in that kind of environment, and I think it's the way we're meant to be. We're meant to do it in community for sure.
I think we probably all go through a period, or several periods probably, where we do withdraw a bit and we just feel we need to sort of get ourselves sorted. And I think at a time for a season that can be right. And it's probably a very healthy.
It can be, but it's probably a very short season.
It should only be a short season. Yeah, that was sort of what I was going to say next. Don't do that for too long because it can get a little bit too comfortable to the point where you actually find you're slipping away from the things of God because you're not being built up in them. You're not being reaffirmed in them.
I mean, in the book of Hebrews it says, don't get in the habit of not meeting together. Yeah. You know, there's lots of reasons to go. And lots of good excuses really to go, well, I just can't make it today, whatever. But you know, not get the habit of that. The habit is actually the discipline. I'm going to lead myself to be part of a community. You know, quite often I think it was John Maxwell once, he says, you know what, for big decisions in your life, make a decision once and then manage that decision daily. So it's a one-off decision to go, you know, this is my church, this is where I'm going to be, this is where I'm going to choose to be at whatever the service time is, unless there's something really significant in my life to keep me away, I just make one decision, I'm going to be there. And then I just manage that every week. You know, it's like too many people, when I chat to them, it's like, you know, I'll get up on a Sunday morning, I'll see how I feel. Really?
Do you need to make that decision every week?
That's right. Just make it once. It's so much easier.
So what's the heartbeat of Coast Community Church?
I mean, we want to be a church, you know, our vision is to be healthy, growing and full of love. That's what we want to see. Want to be a place that's safe, people are welcome, you can just come as you are. You know, one of our values is genuineness, just to be the real deal. You see, if Jesus accepts us for who we are and then leads us from there, we want to do the same. So you're welcome, come along. You don't have to put on a front, you don't have to look a particular way, just be yourself. You know, and we want to create an environment, lots of environments really, that as you step in there, that we would hope that you would personally be, but as a church, all our ministries, everything would be healthy, growing and full of love, where love's the motive.
Yeah, I mean, genuineness, I know, is one of your key values there. I mean, we've talked a lot over this weekend about authenticity, which is really the same thing said another way.
Yep.
And the people, I think now, and research I've read recently was saying that, particularly millennials, but I think it applies to others as well, they're not that concerned about truth. They're more concerned about authenticity. Truth isn't the doorway anymore. Whereas, you know, we grew up baby boomers. As long as it's true, that's it. You know, it's true and it's right because it's right. Kids are not just kids. I mean, a lot of people now say, well, look, yeah, okay, you can say that, but show me.
Yeah.
Show me it's real. Show me it's real. And then they will accept the truth, but not if they don't see it lived.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Don't feel it lived around them.
Yeah, that's a good encouragement for anyone listening, me included. It's going to be the real deal. Yeah. Just be authentically you. Yeah. Authentic with God, authentic with one another. Yep. You know, we just say it like it is. Yeah. And that's attractive.
Yeah, I think it is, because relationships are fundamental. I mean, you know, you can have laws, you can have rules, you can have dictates, you can have structures, you can have programs, but people stay in churches because of people.
Yeah, and people leave church because of people.
That's probably the downside of that.
if we live authentically, you can work through anything, even if there's challenges. Yeah, you can be authentic. Yeah, but if the people is the common denominator.
Yeah, you probably don't meet too many people who say, I left that church because of their programs. It's probably more because somebody hurt me, or it's relational in some way.
Yeah, and people don't leave church because of Jesus.
No.
Because he is love, God is love.
That's right. There's nothing in Jesus to turn you away. So, sure.
It's the people that get in the way.
Yeah, okay.
You know, so genuineness, authenticity, totally agree with you. Yeah. For us, and you're right, the younger generations see through that stuff straight away. Yeah. Yeah, they really do.
We have Pastor Kev Sheehan from Coast Community Church here with us today. Welcome again, Kev.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Kev, words of wisdom have you got to share with the Coast, and tell us what's going on there, and if people want to connect with Coast Community Church, how and where?
Yeah, sure. I'll let you know a few things. Obviously, we're at Bensville and Tumby, so two places over the coast. Bensville services are 9 a.m. in the morning and 5 p.m. in the evening. At Tumby, we have a 10 a.m. service, and as from today, we have a brand new evening service starting tonight. Okay. So 5:30 kick-off, and we're actually starting with a meal, free meal.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
That's always good.
Church starts at 6, although we'll connect over a meal first. And so that's great. We're excited about that, to actually kick off a brand new service in our Tumby facility. So tonight, 5:30, every Sunday from here. In fact, next Sunday night, we have a guest speaker, Christine Uwasi from Compassion.
Cool. Yeah, she's coming along.
So she used to be a sponsor child in Rwanda. Yeah. So we're really stoked to be able to host her and for her to share her story, which is so significant. You can check that out online anywhere.
Yeah, because she sort of had some exposure to the whole Rwanda genocide.
She did. All the family didn't make it through that.
Amazing story. I've heard her speak, and mind-blowing. Yeah. Get there for that, if nothing else.
Yeah, so that's next Sunday night. So, we're stoked for that. And but, hey, I read this just during the week in one of Craig Groeschel's book. He was talking about visiting some older people in a retirement home, and he came across Marjorie. And this is what he wrote about Marjorie. And it just made me think of our evening service as we're starting out with the meal. It says, she met Jesus at a small Assembly of God church after she'd gone 3 days without food.
Whoa.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Now, there's actually people in our community, maybe some listeners, that's actually
their
real
story.
stuff.
That's their story,
Yeah, someone dropped into my office just recently. Seriously, nothing at home. And so you wouldn't think that'd be the case in our community, but it is. Anyway, it's Marjorie's story. So she'd gone 3 days without food. It was the promise of free food that drew her to that church, but the living bread she received there changed her life.
Wow.
So every Sunday night, I'm hoping we can see some of that. Yeah. There's a free meal on. You can just come for dinner and go home if you like. Don't have to come to church. But
so Tumby, they meet in Adelaide Street.
Adelaide Street.
For the old Coasties, the old Mingara building, way down the bottom. Yep. And Bensville is at the Coast Community School, Coast Christian School campus at Bensville. Right. That's where you meet. Okay, cool.
Yep, so we have a great Christian school there happening out of Bensville, Coast Christian School. The vision statement for Coast Christian School is foundation for life. We want to see a foundation in kids' lives they can stand on for the rest of their lives.
Excellent.
So the other thing I want to let you know about is our Global Leadership Summit. GLS, we hosted that last year for the first time.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
I enjoyed every session.
Rhema was a sponsor.
Yep,
it was fantastic. To kick that off last year, about 170 people there of all different kind of leaders and churches and Christian education and business sector across the coast, all together for the same purpose to go, talk about be the change. How do I lead myself really well so that the people I'm leading, we can actually make a significant impact for God's kingdom. So first weekend in November this year at the Bensville campus.
We shall be talking about that lots more between now and then. I know it's one of Craig's hot buttons at the moment, Craig Stevens on Friday morning in New Expressions, and certainly we'll be talking about it other times on air as well, because it's a great thing. You're tapping into some of the best leadership brains in the world.
Yeah. Have you seen the list of speakers for this year? Can I give you a quick taster?
Yeah, go for it.
Here's just some of the speakers at GLS this year. Craig Rochelle, which I just mentioned. T.D. Jakes.
Great.
Erwin McManus.
Okay.
John Maxwell.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of people. Like these are some that people are probably familiar with.
And don't get phased by that word Global Leadership Summit. You don't have to be an established leader in a ministry to do that, because as we've talked about, part of this is leading yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where it starts. It's the starting point.
You're a leader of something, whether you know it or not, even if it's just you.
Exactly. And it's hard work.
Yeah.
It's not easy work, but absolutely.
You can't get away from that one.
No, self-leadership, personal leadership.
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
Yeah, cool. Excellent. Thank you so much for your time, Kev.
Yeah, happy to be here. You know, just want to affirm the work of Rhema and what you're doing here,
Thank
Rick.
you.
It's a great ministry, and you never know what's going to happen there, but I know there are those moments where people hear a word that was just for them. My prayer is that, the listeners would be have enough courage and vulnerability to embrace that word, and from that point produce a harvest.
Cool.